mini Mimir thing that's been put together, and we've got a bunch of passionate gamers, a bunch of passionate game questions, and we're going to hopefully find out who is the first ever Brain of Gaming, and it may well be one of these 4 lovely players. I suppose there is only one way to find out. Everyone happy to get going?
Yeah. Good.
Great stuff. Okay, so first question is for you, Toby. GTA San Andreas radio station selection includes the hip-hop focused Playback FM, hosted by Forthright MC, who is voiced by what real-life rapper? Along with Flavor Flav, this rapper is one of the 2 primary members of Public Enemy.
Pass.
No worries. Harry?
Chuck D.
Chuck D it is. Very nice. And Toby, you're next. The 2023 Souls-like Lies of P, in which the playable character is a puppet, is loosely based on what 1883 children's book? The similarities are basically just the puppets, we can't lie.
Pinocchio.
Pinocchio it is. Wonderful. And third question for you. What 5-letter word precedes where in the term meaning software made available on a trial basis, often for free, with reduced functionality compared to the full program? Sometimes known as Demonware or Freemium, id Software released the original Doom under this model, making the first episode free but locking the second and third.
Pass.
No worries. Drew?
Share.
Yeah, shareware. Nice, picked up there. And now we've got 3 questions for Harry. You're first. In 2020, what Paradox interactive game earned a 10 out of 10 rating from IGN? The third in its series, the review describes a scenario where the writer's character ended up punching out a priest and upsetting the Pope. Fairly standard fare for veteran players.
Oh, why? I don't think I know this. Pass.
No worries. Darius?
Crusader Kings.
Crusader Kings it is. Crusader Kings 3, of course. Very nice. And Harry, you're next. Over the 7 editions and many expansions of the Civilization games, there have been a few factions that only appeared once. What faction's sole appearance came in Civilization 5 under the leadership of Attila?
The Huns.
The Huns it is. Fiat 500s. Very good. And your third own. Mega hit franchise The Sims was created by what game development studio? Founded by Will Wright and Jeff Braun, already famous for SimCity.
Maxis. Sorry, I said Maxis.
Maxis, sorry, yep, Maxis is what I've got. Very nice. Well done. And now we move on to 3 questions for you, Drew. What is the name for the star ratings earned by the player in the Grand Theft Auto series that represents to what extent the police are pursuing you?
Notoriety.
Not what I've got, I'm afraid. Toby?
Guess I'll try Wanted.
Wanted it is. Wanted level. Nice. Unlucky. And we go next for your second question, Drew. What was the name of the device developed for the Nintendo 64 that when plugged into the controller provided haptic feedback? The device would vibrate at appropriate points, like when the player took damage.
Rumble Pack.
Rumble Pack it is. Of course. Very nice. And the last of your first 3 questions. Although Scarecrow appears in the Arkham series, what other psychiatrist is a major antagonist in Batman Arkham City? He is one of Batman's oldest recurring villains, debuting in the comics in 1940.
Hugo Strange.
It is. I think earlier in the week it was Kevin as Doctor Strange, not that one. Very nice. And now, finally, your 3 questions, Darius. Tony Hawk isn't the only person to get his name on an extreme sport game. After the success of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, who was the namesake of Activision's video game Blank's Pro Snowboarding? He shares his forename with Shaun White, the record holder for Olympic golds in the sport.
Pass.
Or is Toby?
Pass.
Harry?
Pass.
Drew?
Pass.
No worries. Very, very tricky. Sean Palmer. Not heard of it. The game case looks like a Photoshop, but anyway, we go for your next question, Darius. What video game console was first released in Japan under the name of Family Computer or Famicom before being renamed for Western audiences?
The NES.
NES it is. Very nice. And finally, last question of round 1. The group of players known as the Five Gods, Armada, Mango, Mewtwo King, PPMD, and Hungrybox, were dominant in what series of games?
Smash Bros.
Super Smash Bros. Indeed. Very nice. Wonderful stuff. And that's the end of round 1. Very, very close. 2-3 the scores there. Everyone good to go straight into round 2?
Yep.
Let's get cooking. And Toby, your 3 are up next. In 2007, the website Game FAQs ran a month-long contest to determine the site's favourite character that was eventually won by, of all things, the L Block from Tetris. Among the losers was what cheerful, rounded pink Nintendo character whose signature ability is inhaling enemies and stealing their skills?
Kirby.
Kirby it is. Very nice. And you're next. No fewer than 4 Legend of Zelda games have been given 10 out of 10 reviews by IGN, beginning with Ocarina of Time back in 1998. What was the most recent one of these, released in 2023 as a sequel to Breath of the Wild?
Tears of the Kingdom.
Tears of the Kingdom it is. Very well. And finally, for your next triplet. What toy accessory was released alongside the NES's launch in 1985? Nintendo's launch in the US was centered around this robot toy, although it was quietly discontinued a few years after.
All I can think of is Rob.
Rob is what I've got.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, robotic operating buddy. But Rob, very good. And now, next up, 3 questions for you, Harry. In Darkest Dungeon, the player's heroes are at risk of dying both from losing their health or by gaining too much of what other quality, representing their mental health. Reaching 200 of this causes the hero to have a heart attack and die.
Insanity.
It's not what I've got, I'm afraid. Drew?
Pass, please.
Darius?
Pass.
Toby?
Nah, pass.
No worries, it's one of those ones. Stress.
Yeah.
Okay.
No worries. And next up, your next question, Harry. Radio station Non-Stop Pop FM in GTA 5 is hosted by what English model and actress, as herself as DJ Cara?
Delevingne.
Cara Delevingne it is.
You.
Very nice. And finally, for your current 3. When Street Fighter II was released in Western markets, 3 of the game's bosses had their names switched around due to the boxer character originally being named M. Bison, in reference to what real-life heavyweight champion?
Mike Tyson.
Mike Tyson it is. Very well. And next up, Drew, 3 questions for you. First of all, the asymmetric survival horror game Dead by Daylight has an extensive roster of both original characters and survivors and killers from other media franchises. Survivor Quentin Smith and killer Freddy Krueger were added to the game from what horror film series?
A Nightmare on Elm Street.
In Nightmare on Elm Street it is. And next, also looking to capitalise on the success of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, Activision released 2 games titled Blanks Pro BMX, after which highly regarded American BMX rider?
Dave Mirra.
It's not what I've got, I'm afraid. Darius?
That's a pass.
Toby?
Pass.
Harry?
Pass.
No worries. This, I think he's in the Jackass movies and things. Matt Hoffman. Matt Hoffman's Pro BMX. But we'll go your final question, Drew. Chosen in honour of the author of the Divine Comedy, a work that heavily inspired its design, Dante is the protagonist of what action game series about a demon hunter who himself has demonic powers?
Devil May Care.
It's not what I've got, I'm afraid. Darius?
Devil May Cry.
Devil May Cry. Unlucky. And Darius, now 3 questions for you. Coined in 1993 by Computer Gaming World magazine, what 6-letter word precedes where in a term meaning a video game bundle made with a large amount of low-quality material? The term reflects how bulk material would be moved by workers en masse.
Shovel.
Shovelware it is. Nice pull. And your second. Civilization 6 had a lot of one-hit wonders, including What Faction, who boasted qualities like the Mountie unique unit and the ice hockey rink improvement.
Canada.
Canada it is. Canadians. And the third for this trip for you. What is the name given to the nonsense language spoken by The Sims in the Sims franchise, as well as a number of other Maxis games?
Simglish.
Say that again, sorry?
Singlish.
It's not what I've got. Toby?
Simlish.
Simlish.
Yeah.
Unlucky. Super close. Fabulous. Takes us to the end of round 2. Scores are still absurdly tight. Let's go straight into round 3 for you, Toby. Matt Hoffman's Pro BMX actually competed with a similar game, developed by Acclaim and named after what other BMX rider? In 2002, Acclaim tried to make a third game named after this rider that included nudity and crude humor, which became BMX XXX after he complained.
Pass.
No worries. Harry?
Pass.
Drew?
That should be Dave Mira.
That is Dave Mirror.
I figured it would be the one you said, but I couldn't remember what you said.
Same.
No. Some justice. Fabulous, nice pickup. And next, Toby. The tutorial for Darkest Dungeon begins with the player progressing through a small dungeon and in control of 2 characters, a Crusader and a Highwayman. Give the default name of either character.
Guess a generic name. Jack.
Not what I've got, I'm afraid, Harry.
Pass.
Drew?
Pass.
Darius?
Pass.
No worries, this is Reynold and Dismas, one of the ones that Andrew pulled in the match. I was so impressed. And we go next to your final question of this round, Toby. Name either of the 2 morality paths the player can pursue in the Mass Effect series of games.
Good.
Not what I've got, I'm afraid, Harry.
Pass.
No, Drew?
Pass.
Darius?
Renegade.
Renegade is one. Anyone know the other?
Vanguard.
Paragon.
Paragon.
But very nice pick up there. And now 3 questions for Harry. Another psychiatrist gone bad, Doctor to the Stars Harlan Fontaine is revealed to be a major drug baron and a Hollywood crime lord in what action-adventure game, set in 1947 and in the city alluded to in the title?
Yeah, I don't have anything pass.
No worries. Drew?
Pass, please.
Toby?
I'll pass.
Darius?
Pass.
Ooh, no one brave. I feel like a few of you know it. L.A. Noire.
LA Noire.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't
Right,
know it was an action adventure.
I've not actually played. Yeah. Okay.
that's pretty good. Questionable face captures aside. Next question for you, Harry. In round 2 of the Game FAQ's character contest, the L Block beat both Kirby and Donkey Kong to finish second, around 5,000 votes shy of what protagonist of the God of War series?
Kratos.
Kratos it is. Boy. Very nice. And next, your third question. What 5-letter word precedes where in a term meaning games which start with huge amounts of hype but then have release date postponed repeatedly? StarCraft Ghost is a famous example of this, having been announced in 2002 and put on indefinite hiatus in 2020.
Oh god. I was gonna say something, but then it's in the question. What is this? Yeah, I can't work this out. Pass.
No worries. Drew?
Pass.
Toby?
I'll guess delay.
It's not what I've got, sadly.
Okay.
Darius?
Vaporware.
Vaporware it is.
Of course it is.
And next, your 3 questions, Drew. Grand Theft Auto 4's choice of radio stations includes K109 The Studio, dedicated to disco music and hosted by what German fashion designer playing himself? In-game artwork depicts him wearing his classic dark glasses.
Lagerfeld.
Karl Lagerfeld it is. Nice pickup. And your second. The faction of Macedon has so far appeared in only one Civilization game, Civ 6, where it was led by what ruler? One of the ancient world's finest conquerors, this leader commanded Greece in the series' first 5 games.
Alexander the Great.
Alexander the Great, correct, very nice. And your third. Sadly passing away in 2021, who is commonly seen as the best Tetris player of all time? Between 2010 and 2018, he made the final of every classic Tetris World Championship, winning 7 of the 9 years.
Linus.
It's not what I've got. Harry?
Pass.
Toby?
Pass.
Darius?
Pass.
Unlucky. Drew, I feel like you know this. His name's Jonas. But super close. But alright, we go next now. 3 questions for Darius. First released in 2010, what was the name of the Microsoft motion sensing peripheral developed for the Xbox 360? Microsoft included an upgraded version with the Xbox One, despite being criticized for making it a required part of the console.
Connect.
It is indeed the Kinect. And you're next. What media franchise has been raided by Dead by Daylight multiple times, adding Steve Harrington, Nancy Wheeler, and Eleven to the roster of survivors, and the Demogorgon and Henry Vecna Creel as killers over multiple updates?
Stranger Things.
Of course. And finally, in BioShock, who is the creator of the underwater city of Rapture? His ideology is directly inspired by the objectivist beliefs of Ayn Rand, and it's probably not a coincidence that his name is close to an anagram of Rand's.
Ah, son of a bitch. Fuck. Duran.
It's not what I've got, sadly. Harry?
Yeah, I can't remember. Pass.
Drew?
Pass.
Toby?
Pass.
No worries. Would you kindly? It's Andrew
Right.
Ryan.
Yeah.
Okay, so this
It's been like 10 years since I played the game, so.
Yeah. No worries. Fabulous. At the end of round 3, 10 points to Darius, 7 to Drew, and then 6 apiece for Toby and Harry. Go straight into round 4 with Toby. What series of football video games is named Winning 11 in Japan and renamed for the West? This series was the main competitor to FIFA. However, in 2019, the series was rebranded as eFootball.
Pro Evolution Soccer.
Pro Evolution Soccer it is. Disappeared and became eFootball apparently. And you're next. Referencing a classic film from 1941, what word was a cheat code in the first Sims game that gave a player 1,000 simoleons when used?
Rosebud.
It is Rosebud. Very good. And your third. Dead by Daylight has no shame about using characters from other video games as well. In 2020, a killer nicknamed the Executioner, better known as Pyramid Head, joined the cast from what other horror game series?
Silent Hill.
Silent Hill it is. 3 for 3, very nice. And next for Harry, you're first. Arcane Studios' train wreck of a game Redfall and the fishing survival horror Dredge are among those inspired by the works of what American author, born in 1890?
See this all. I'll try Lovecraft.
It is H.P. Lovecraft. Very nice. And you're second. Speaking of Arcane Studios, what first-person stealth game developed by them uses chaos as an analogue for morality? Protagonist Corvo Atano, once the Empress bodyguard framed for her murder, raises his chaos rating by killing rather than non-lethally subduing enemies.
Passing.
Oh, sorry. Drew?
Pass.
Toby?
Pass.
Darius?
Dishonored.
Dishonored. The end of the queue, munching the bone. This is very nice. Dishonored. And your third own for this round, Harry. Sometimes nicknamed the Beast, which Japanese player is widely considered the greatest Street Fighter of all time? He became particularly famous in 2004 when, during a match against Justin Wong, he successfully parried all 15 hits of Chun-Li's super art to come back and win the match.
Let's go with Suzuki.
Sadly not. Drew?
Pass.
Toby?
Daigo.
It is Daigo Umehara. Really nice. Very nice. Well, I mean, it's a clip, so whenever you remember it exists, you've got to go watch it.
I can't believe Justin Wong is getting it even in a quiz game.
Nice. And now 3 questions for Drew. In 2022, IGN gave a perfect score to The Final Cut, an update to and improvement on What RPG. The review particularly praises the new voice acting, which include voices being given to the skills and internal monologue of the player character, amnesiac detective Harry Dubois.
Pass.
No worries, Harry.
Pass.
Toby.
Disco Elysium.
Disco Elysium it is. Nice. And your second, Drew. What 7-letter word precedes where in the term for software and video games which are no longer supported by their developers and are commonly no longer for sale through conventional means? This word reflects how the developers have left these games behind.
Abandon.
Abandon where it is. Nice pickup. And your final question. By the semi-final of the Game FAQ's character contest, L Block Fever had grabbed the site. It finished first, beating out characters including what protagonist of Halo?
Master Chief.
John Halo himself, Master Chief, very nice. And now, finally, for round 4, Darius, your first question. Psychiatrist Dr. Hill, voiced by Petra Stormare, appears in intermission therapy sessions in what horror game? During the sessions, Dr. Hill questions the player about the choices they've made so far. The answers will affect future events in the game.
Pass.
No worries, Harry.
Pass.
Drew.
Pass.
Toby.
Pass.
Oh, it's a PS3 exclusive, I think, but I never played it. Until Dawn.
Okay.
Okay.
And your second, Darius. Radio station The Lowdown 91.1 from Grand Theft Auto 5 is hosted by what actress? Famed for her roles in blaxploitation films of the 70s, she was cast by Quentin Tarantino as Jackie Brown in his 1997 film of the same name, with Tarantino calling her the first female action star.
Pass.
Is Harry?
Brown.
Say that again, sorry?
Greer. Pam Greer.
Pam Grier it is, very nice. Nice. When Declaris said pass, I thought he was saying Pam. It threw me off as well. But very nice. And your final question for this round, Darius. The much beloved narration of Darkest Dungeon is delivered by what character? Voiced by the late Wayne June. The player returns to the hamlet that forms the game's home base at this character's request, as this character was the one who originally released the chaos unto the world.
Okay, not enjoying this triplet. Pass.
No worries. Harry.
Pass.
Drew.
Pass, please.
Toby.
Pass.
No worries. This is the Ancestor.
Okay.
Yeah. So final round. Still, I mean, there's only 3 points between first and last place. This is nice. Toby and Darius tied on 11, Drew at 9, and Harry on 8. Definitely ought to play for. And final 3 questions for you, Toby. One of the earliest to appear only once, what Civilization faction with a 3-word name was playable only in the series' 4th game, where they were led by Charlemagne?
Holy Roman Empire.
Holy Roman Empire it is. Very nice. The main antagonist of Persona 5 Royal, psychiatrist Takuto Maruki, aims to brainwash his patients into an ascended state of pleasure within his laboratory. A palace that contains a replica of what biblical location on the top floor?
I stopped playing this game just before this bit, and I don't know why I stopped playing it. Garden of Eden.
Garden of Eden it is.
Okay.
That's why you didn't need to keep playing. Very nice. And your final own of the quiz. What speedrunning legend, real name unknown, is accepted as the best player of the Doom series? Achievements include being the first person to access secrets previously thought inaccessible in multiple Doom 2 maps, and being the first to 100% complete Ultra Nightmare difficulty in Doom 2016.
Pass.
Harry?
Pass.
Drew?
Pass.
Darius?
I pass.
Oh, no worries, I thought somebody might have pulled it. Zero Master.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard it, but so long ago that no chance.
Pops up in random rogue YouTube videos here and there. And your final 3 questions coming up, Harry. Most franchises to have characters added to Dead by Daylight have had both killers and survivors included. One exception was an update from 2025, which added Michonne and Rick Grimes as survivors from what TV series? Just saying, Negan would have made a great killer.
Walking Dead.
The Walking Dead it is. Nice, and you're second. What was the name of the webcam developed by Logitech for the PlayStation 2? Besides games developed specifically to utilize its functions, it also allowed players to upload their faces onto characters in games like Tony Hawk's Underground and The Sims.
Like the iToy.
iToy it is. Wonderful. And your final own of the quiz. Surfing, the most extreme of the extreme sports, also received an Activision game in 2002, with 2002's Blanks Pro Surfer, named after what legendary figure in the sport?
Johnson.
Sadly not. Drew?
Slater?
Kelly Slater it is. Really, really nice pull. It's one of the 2 games that I had when we first got a 360. And now, finally, your... on to Drew. You get the joy of your own 3 questions as well. Your first. The game released as Super Mario Bros. 2 in the West was based on what earlier platforming game? Released in Japan in 1987. The game's character designs were slightly modified to fit the Super Mario franchise, which is why Luigi is still taller and thinner than Mario to this day.
What's it called? Now, Ponda Panel.
Not what I've got, I'm afraid. Harry?
Doki Doki Panic.
Doki Doki Panic it is. Really, really nice, yep. And now your second own, Drew. What is the surname of Mortimer, Bella and Cassandra, a pre-made family that first appeared in the first Sims game, but who have become popular franchise mainstays?
Goth.
Goth it is. And your final own of the match. The final boss of Darkest Dungeon is a hideous creature resembling a human organ known by what name? It is the only example in the game of an enemy with a one-hit kill attack and will use it twice during the final battle, guaranteeing 2 of your heroes will die.
I'm going to invent the name... Spleen.
Sadly not, but I wish it was. Harry?
Yes.
Darius?
I'll go for the heart.
I'll prompt.
Oh fuck. The dark heart.
I will mark it wrong.
Okay.
Toby?
Pass.
This is tricky. I mean, it's called the Heart of Darkness, which I guess is not what you said. But I mean,
yeah, I mean, I've not actually played the game, so I don't really know how to
Yeah.
mark that.
yeah. I think I'll mark it as wrong because it's not called the Dark Heart, right? But for the plot point,
I'll take the moral victory.
Exactly right. But you get the joy of the final 3 questions of the quiz, and yeah, I mean, literally anyone can catch up to Toby. So best of luck to everyone. But the questions are for you first, Darius. 4th of November 2007 saw the L Block crowned as the winner of the Game FAQ's character contest, mustering more than 65,000 votes en route to beating Cloud Strife, Link, and what character, the protagonist of Metal Gear Solid?
Solid Snake.
Solid Snake it is. And your second. Undertale has 3 endings: the neutral, the true pacifist, and what third ending?
Genocide.
It is Genocide. And the final question of the quiz, potentially. Not only did Elden Ring make the cut, what 2024 expansion to the game joined it in the pantheon of IGN 10 out of 10 scores? The review punned on the perfect score and the game itself with the single word headline, untarnished.
Oh, fuck.
10 seconds.
Shadow of the Earth Tree.
Oh my goodness. Shadow of the Erd Tree it is.
I couldn't fucking forget what kind of tree it was. I was like, oh fuck, it's a Shadow of X tree. Ah.
Very, very nice pull. Just in the nick of time. And yep, that is the match.
Very
It was Elden Ring Shadow of the Erd Tree. Thank you everyone for playing. Fantastically quizzed. Well done, Darius, for a crazy 3 out of 3 there at the end.
Yeah, I was quite afraid of the quad with the host for San Andreas radio station, because like I'm not getting any of those, and then I could have gone Lagerfeld, but it didn't come to me. So
Yeah.